Hey everyone, Token Dave over here, the dorky talking black guy that's just trying to get by. And welcome to another edition of Helltober, my celebration for horror and Halloween in the month of October. You know, George A. Romero's Living Dead series is amazing. You know, it's really hard to do a multi-parter horror movie where every installment is either progressively getting better or is amazingly good. However, with 5 movies into a series, there's always got to be one black sheep. And that is his final installment in the series, Survival of the Dead. Now, during the events of Diary of the Dead, our protagonist, while on the road, encountered a National Guard group. And this National Guard group actually ended up forcefully robbing them of all their supplies with the exception of their weapons. Survival of the Dead focuses on this group as they stumble upon a bit of a, family rivalry between two families in a remote island somewhere in Delaware, where while the zombie apocalypse is actually beginning to spread, these two heads of their families still cannot set aside their differences for the greater good of the human race, and instead are basically squabbling over petty reasons due to disagreements of ideology and lineage, generational grudge. George A. Romero, in his early trilogy, he artistically, displayed his theme and did not beat it over your head. It was there was great entertainment to be had, but he did have a recurring theme that he didn't have to beat over your head. Around Land of the Dead, it became a little more obvious, but not so obvious that it kept beating you over the head. With Diary and Survival, it's flat out obvious what this theme is about. And basically, this theme is in reference to our political leaders or politicians, who seem to not be able to compromise, at all. Even when basically, the world is on the brink of a downfall. Now, a lot of the problems Diary of the Dead had are displayed here, with the exception of the fact that this plot is a little more cohesive, while still falling into the timeline of basically the same time that night occurred. This one, it doesn't focus on, the events of the zombie apocalypse and its infancy, but it's still a bit of a backdrop. It's in the back of your mind as you're watching this, since you've already watched the other movies. However, we have 0 likable people at all. 0 people to identify with. And unlike how, Diary of the Dead was gratefully executed, here, the zombies are there. They're there. We don't have any of the fear elements, nor do we feel compelled to find out what's happening. We really don't care about this feud, and it's really ridiculous, to be honest with you. So, of course, we have the zombies there, so one thing that George A. Romero does is basically he executes everything in his movie fairly well, which, for some reason, he dropped the ball on this, but surely the practical effects of the zombies, they're awesome, right? Yeah, no, actually. Well, when they do practical, it's done well. But the thing is, most of this has become a little CGI heavy and not good CGI heavy, you know. And to top it off, like when someone is eaten or the death, it's not as, yeah, it doesn't trigger a response at all, you know. While watching this movie, I was going throughout this movie like, okay. But I will admit there's one jump scare that was actually effective. I'll admit that, but that's just one out of the whole movie. And while all of Romero's other movies did implore some themes of dark comedy, yeah, this one got a little more obvious and slapstickle. And I'm one for slapstick comedy, but yeah, it was unnecessary here. Guys, there's nothing much to really say about excuse me. There's nothing much to say about Survival of the Dead. Uninteresting characters, dragging setting, a forgettable plot, you know. The theme constantly being in your face gets aggravating. The special effects are terrible, you know. The only thing we could really give this movie is great cinematography. And for all those reasons, Survival of the Dead is whack. Oh man, this is a really depressing way to end off the Living Dead series. Something has to cheer me up. And I got an idea. So basically, you know, do you agree? Disagree? Drop me a comment below. Give me a like. Follow me at Token Dave on Facebook or TokenDave80 or Twitter. Subscribe and ring that bell so you know when a new video loads. But until then, this has been Token Dave, the dorky token black guy who's just trying to get by, and I'll catch you guys later.